Your boy's getting a camera today. Stay in motion. What is up, family? It is your boy, Cody Cooper. Cody in motion. Cody Banks, whole thing. Today is the day. Today is a significant day in the history of Cody in motion / Cody doing content. Because today is the day that I am getting a camera. Now, granted, I have the camera right here because I'm taking this video. My GoPro. I also have my iPhone 14 Pro Max. But one thing I've been researching on a lot the last few months is mirrorless cameras. And I have been watching short after test footage video to figure out what I wanted. And I found it actually on Facebook Marketplace of all places. And I'll get into a little bit more of this later, but naturally I thought I would make a video about it because it's content. So I'm going to take you through the steps of how I figured out which camera I wanted, how I compared them, what cameras I was looking at, what camera I ultimately decided on, and then how I found what is going to be the camera, which I'm getting later today after work. So we're going to cross our fingers and make sure that when we go to meet up with this stranger, that they got what I'm looking for. They got the stuff. But as always, you are phenomenal. You are capable. You are phenomenal and capable of anything you put your mind to, your hands to, and your heart to. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you make the most out of it. And I will catch up with you guys later. All right. So did a little bit of work, and now it's time to dive back into this video. The first step I would say of looking for a new camera, for me, I'm Cody. I am an aspiring content creator, documenting my life, diving into cinematography, travel, all types of stuff. But that's not what you came here for. You came to find out about my experience purchasing a new camera. The first step was research. So my setup right now is I have my iPhone 14 Pro Max. I have this GoPro Hero 8, both shoot in 4K. Both are pretty nice cameras, but I wanted to take my content creation to the next level and get a mirrorless camera. So I did a ton of research. Now, the beautiful thing about researching in 2025, I did a lot of research on YouTube. First and foremost, I was looking at different camera brands. I looked at Sony, I looked at Nikon, I looked at Canon. And when I tell you guys, hours and hours of watching videos, pros and cons of why to buy whichever camera, I kind of tried to look at it as, what am I going to be using the camera for? Because some people are photographers. Some people are videographers, vloggers like myself. And I came to the conclusion that I'm going to be mostly using my mirrorless camera for video. There'll also be some photos intertwined and stuff as I go on in my journey. But I wanted something that was really good for video. I wanted something that could shoot in 4K up to 24 frames per second and 30 frames per second. So I looked at, again, a lot of pros and cons videos, and after weeks and months, honestly, right now we're in April of 2025. I've been really taking content creation seriously since the January, I would say, and even last year. But I figured I wanted to go with Sony because of their autofocus, because a lot of their cameras are lightweight. But the biggest thing is I am on a budget. I don't do this full time. I have a 9-to-5. I have bills that I have to pay as well. So I told myself that I wanted to be at a budget of below $1,000. And when I say below $1,000, I wanted to be below, So I figured out pretty quickly that if I wanted to buy a new camera that had the capabilities that I was looking for, I was going to have to go with something that was pre-owned. So after talking to some friends who are into photography, watching a lot of YouTube videos, I figured I would look for pre-owned. I looked at pre-owned websites, and one of my friends who was like, listen, check out Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and see what you can find. And I was really kind of pessimistic about that because it's just, sometimes it can be sketchy buying stuff privately. So I looked at literally tons of different listings, messaged a bunch of people, got a lot of offers back and stuff of people, selling their cameras. And I'll be honest, it's a lot out there, and I think it's pretty cool. As far as me reaching out to people, I'm pretty sure I messaged some scammers who literally, as soon as I was like, yeah, I'm serious, I want to meet up in public. And that's one thing I would tell you to do if you're purchasing privately and you're buying an expensive piece of equipment. right away I would tell people, hey, I'm a serious buyer. I want to make sure you would want to meet up publicly. I want to see the camera working. I want to make sure that it works. And if you're not okay with that, that's completely fine. Second thing I would say is when you're looking to stay budget friendly or shopping, either pre-owned or new, when I was reaching out to people, if they had their camera listed, $800, $700, I'm gonna be real with y'all, I would lowball them. Because as you guys may or may not know, I work in car sales, so I deal a lot with negotiation. So I know as a seller, you should be putting your stuff high because you know someone's going to come in and offer you lower. So you want to stay within you want to sell the camera for, I almost said vehicle. So I reached out to a bunch of different people and I landed on the fact that I wanted a Sony mirrorless camera that could shoot in 4K, also had some photo capabilities as well. And I landed on the Sony ZV-E10. Now, I was also comparing things like the Canon R5, the Sony FX3, bunch of different cameras that I was looking at, and I kind of arranged, what I wanted to spend. I wanted to be under $700 a month, and I've reached out to a lot of people, got some traction back, finally landed on someone who seemed pretty serious, seemed pretty reputable as far as not sketchy, and we talked a little bit. I lowballed him. He had his Sony ZV-E10 and 2 lenses listed at, I want to say, $600. So naturally I messaged him and told him, again, I want to meet up. I'm interested. I'm a serious buyer. And would you be willing to do $475? Because he's at $600. Now, granted, it was a Sony ZV-E10. Apparently, it was in brand new condition. I don't know because I'm picking it up today. And he was selling 2 lenses with it, which I think is a steal at $600. But the negotiator in me had to whittle him down some more. So I sent him a message. Hey, I'm interested in purchasing. I'd want to meet up in person. You'd be willing to take $475. And right away, he's like, no. But this is where it gets fun. He was like, no, I already have offers of $525. He had it listed at $600. So I'm like, okay, $75 below what he had it listed at. That's a solid deal. It's a Sony 4K mirrorless camera that's really good for vlogging, what I'm going to be doing with the camera. And he's giving me 2 lenses too, and a charger. So once he said, I have offers at $525, I told him I would still be interested in it at $525. I'm serious. When can we do this? So after a few days of going back and forth, kind of our schedules, today after work, I'll be driving to New Jersey to buy my camera. I'm excited. I can't wait, honestly. And I want to touch on something that I feel like should be touched on. I'm a big believer, and I understand the fact that your equipment doesn't necessarily make you as a content creator. That being said, I feel like me getting a mirrorless camera is going to motivate me to continue to shoot more and more. So I'm very excited. I'm going to be picking it up. But when you're researching, take your time. Try to stick within your budget. Know what you want to spend on this camera. And as long as everything goes well today, I would highly recommend purchasing pre-owned, especially if you're a beginner like me. When I went to like places like Target and Best Buy, this camera, brand new, just the body, was listed at $799. Or yeah, I believe $99 or $700, something like that. So the fact that I'm getting this camera in basically new condition, hopefully everything goes well with this pickup, and 2 lenses, I think I'm getting it for a steal at $525. So that was my first step as far as purchasing a pre-owned camera. Did my research, and I was just literally looking out there, watching tons of videos of pros and cons, and that's where I landed. But we'll pick up later, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that again. Well, I guess I went over the wheeling and dealing part of it too. I would just say again, always lowball. Know that if someone has something listed at, let's say, like this guy, lowball them, see how serious they are about selling it. Look at their profile. This guy, he has multiple reviews, Facebook Marketplace. Again, after some, he has some type of license in New Jersey as far as photography and stuff. So he's a reputable, ideally, we're going to see when we go out. And lowball, see what they come back at, and let them know that you're a serious buyer. Because there's tons of people out here who are also, trying to buy, trying to send money and stuff like that. Never send money before you get your stuff. Tell them you're a serious buyer. You want to meet up in a public place so that you can make sure that the camera works and you are ready to purchase. But do not give them any money until you get your camera. Now, I did send him $50 to hold the camera because I told him I was ready to purchase. We talked about it. He's about an hour and a half away from me. So I said, listen, as a faith, I'm willing to give you a deposit so that you can hold it and you don't take any other offers. And he was cool with that. So I sent him $50 on Venmo. And it's one of those things for me. God forbid, worst case scenario, he's not serious. He just takes my money and disappears. It's $50. But I'm excited. Today's the day. We're going to be getting a mirrorless camera. I feel like this has been in the making for months. And I'm excited to see where this takes my journey as far as documenting my life and making cinematic videos. I'll catch up with you guys later. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm tired of shit. But what is up, family? It is your boy Cody, aka Cody in Motion, aka Cody Banks, and it is Saturday, April 5th. Oh shit, it's April 5th. It's my little brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Gerald. Love you, boy. I got my Sony digital. I'm tired, as you can see, and that's how it's gonna be sometimes. You're gonna be tired. But I got my mirrorless digital camera last night. I picked up the Sony EV10 along with 2 lenses, a camera bag, 2 battery packs, and a charger, all for $525 last night. I had to drive to Jersey to get it, about an hour and a half both ways, after working until 7 o'clock, after helping my dad move in the fridge. And I know I might not seem super excited, but I am very excited. I am very proud of myself because I've been saving for the last few months. I've been researching. I've been manifesting a lot to get this camera, which is actually in the back. My car is a little bit dirty, but it's right there in that bag. I'm just thankful. It's just another me that if I put in the work, if I put my mind, my hands, and my heart to it, I could do anything that I want. And I'm here and I got the camera, and I was playing with it a little bit last night, but I was so tired that I went to sleep. And as you can see, I didn't get too much sleep, but I'm very excited for the next level. The about it is, and I knew this was going to happen, is that, sometimes when you milestone in this life, sometimes if you don't know, for me, one thing I've recognized is when you eclipse a milestone or when you climb a mountain and you get to the peak of that mountain, the only thing you're going to see, it's going to be beautiful for a second. It's going to be a beautiful view. You're going to be thankful. But then off in the distance, you're going to see a bigger mountain. You're going to see another grind that you're going to have to start climbing to get to the next level. And I'm fully accepted of that and ready to take my content creating level to content next level and figuring out how to hone my skills and produce better content. This is my first ever camera, expensive camera. Excited. I'm ready to close the chapter on looking at cameras, and I want to just hone my skills on this camera, learn how to use this camera, act like this is the only camera I will ever have, and make amazing content with it. But it's a lot, I'll tell you that much. This is an expensive piece of equipment, and I give photographers the biggest credit, videographers the biggest credit, because it is a lot that this machine can do. And just watching some and stuff like that, as far as guides, I know that it's a lot, but I'm ready to just take my time because this is my property now, and it's something that I'm going to learn to use. But I'm so excited for it. Definitely want to give a shout out to Andrew, the gentleman I bought it from out in New Jersey. He's very good at communicating. Gave me a great bargain on it. If he ever sees this, thanks, bro. And drove to Jersey, met at a big rest stop. Me look over the camera. Like I said, 2 lenses, a super zoom lens, kind of a more regular lens, 2 batteries, 2 battery packs, and the camera's in mint condition. It also came with a carrying bag. I'll maybe videotape it later here. I don't want to take it into work because people at my job going, ooh, you got something. It's not the time or place. I got a pretty jam-packed schedule today. Got work, gonna be going out to dinner with Damari, gonna be kicking with her tonight. Want to really focus on my girlfriend as far as us spending time. Don't want to be preoccupied with my camera and shit like that because I got to be thankful for the moments, be present. But football tomorrow morning, probably afternoons, I'm first going to really sit down and dive into that. But just wanted to give you a little life update. We got the mirrorless camera. I'm excited. I'm tired. My face is a little swollen. My voice doesn't sound the best, but it's just, again, another example of even when you put in that work, when you stay consistent, when you're saving, when you're doing, getting those reps, whatever. Sometimes that last little bit, get to where you want to be, it's going to be hard. I had to drive to Jersey. I don't mind driving, but it was an hour and a half both ways. I was pretty tired towards the end of it. And then, I'm tired this morning. Checked off another milestone in my journey in life. So I will always remember my first mirrorless camera, and I'm excited to see how it's going to improve my skill in photography and cinematography and documenting my life. Never forget, guys, please, if you don't take anything else from this video, never forget that you are phenomenal. You are capable of anything that you put your heart, as I point to my head, your head as I my heart, and your hands too. Keep going. I believe in you. I'll talk to you guys soon. Later.